and welcome to Folk Exposure. My name is Michael Stock, and Folk Exposure is a program bringing folk music into the public living room, your living room. And today we have a very special guest, Orrin Starr. Orrin Starr is visiting his grandparents in South Florida, and I was lucky enough to get him in the studio. So how you doing?
Pretty well.
Good. Orrin is a national touring artist. And let's just get right into the music and show us what you got.
All right, here's a Beatles song. I listen for your footsteps coming up the drive. I listen for your footsteps, but they don't arrive. Waiting for your knock, dear, on my old front door. I don't hear it. Doesn't mean you don't love me anymore. Don't pass me by, don't make me cry, don't make me blue. 'Cause you know, darling, I love only you. You'll never know it hurts me so. I hate to see you go, don't pass me by. Don't make me cry. I hear the clock a-ticking on the mantel shelf. See the hands are moving, but I'm by myself. Wonder where you are tonight. Why I'm by myself, I don't see you. Doesn't mean you don't love me anymore. Don't pass me by, don't make me cry, don't make me blue. 'Cause you know, darling, I love only you. You'll never know it hurts me so. I hate to see you go, don't pass me by. Don't make me cry. Sorry that I doubted you, I was so unfair. You were in a car crash and you lost your hair. Said that you would be late about an hour or two. Well, that's alright, I'm waiting here, just waiting to hear from you. Don't pass me by, don't make me cry, don't make me blue. 'Cause you know, Florida, I love only you. You'll never know it hurts me so. I hate to see you go, don't pass me by. Don't make me cry.
All right. Now, Orrin, that is not a folk song.
Well,
It was great. Your pick in there was incredible, but
that fiddle tune was a folk song that I just played. You mean the Beatles song?
yeah.
All right, well, you know, folk has gotten hip, man. It's like, you know, integrating all the sounds. I mean, it's a folk-esque song. And who's counting, right?
That's right.
You are. But
Well, this is a folk show, you know. It's like
right.
some standards to keep up.
I'm
here.
glad to be here today. I have to say, you know, this is quite a special occasion for me because this is the first time since the world was created that I have been on TV in Florida.
Oh, well, I'm certainly glad you're making your debut on Cable Tap. I also want to mention to the listeners that you won a 1976 national championship in flat picking.
Mm-hmm.
And what that means basically is that you have a flat pick and you competed with other people playing with a flat pick.
Yeah, well, flat picking is the bluegrass guitar style.
Uh-huh.
And
I see. So if you have a flat pick and playing guitar, jazz guitar, it's not really called...
It's not called flat picking.
It's not called flat
Right,
picking.
Right.
So how did you get into flat picking?
Well, I became interested in the guitar when I was like a young teenager. I went to a summer camp in Connecticut, where Roy Bookbinder was a counselor, in fact.
Oh,
and
really?
he used to sit on the lawn and play, and I got fascinated with the finger-style blues stuff, and that's what I started with. And then I just kept at it. Heard Doc Watson flipped out over the flat picking style, and
Did you ever think that you'd become a professional musician?
maybe not. It sort of just happened, 1 month at a time. I just kept doing it and getting gigs, and you turn around, and you've been doing it for 10 years.
Yeah, well, 10 years ago you won the championship. You have since then 2 albums and also a new book that's out. Let me show the book right now, okay? Make it see if you can get that. What's the book about? What's it for?
It's a guide to bluegrass guitar licks. It's called Hot Licks for Bluegrass Guitar. It's on Oak Publications, and it's available at obscure music stores everywhere.
Is this your first book?
Yes.
And it's a pretty fat book for your first one, isn't it?
I'll let you be the judge of that, Michael. You're the expert on such things.
And it comes with a record too.
Yeah.
And it's for beginners, or?
Well, for people that play a little bluegrass and want to expand their repertoire of licks.
So let's talk about that. You started off with bluegrass, and you've expanded your licks, more or less, your repertoire. And where did you go from bluegrass?
Well, I actually started with folk.
Oh, you did start with folk.
I had a brief fling with folk when I grew up near Princeton, New Jersey, and they had a folk society there, and I got exposed to all sorts of British Isles stuff, and Utah Bruce Phillips used to come through, and then I got the bluegrass bug and sort of got heavy into that for a few years. So, but even when I was I've always had fairly eclectic tastes. I've always liked to throw in a little swing, a little old-timey, a little...
When you perform, do people expect bluegrass, or they expect a more rounded show?
Well, I build myself as bluegrass and other acoustic music. I used to build myself. I was in a duo for 8 years. That's how we build ourselves. Now I just call myself a fancy pickin' folk entertainer.
Okay.
So
I guess that's how you justify the Beatles song inside your show. We'll play something else. You have another song?
Well, I'll get out the mandolin here for a tune.
Okay. You also play banjo. You play mandolin and banjo.
That's right.
Any national championships on mandolin or banjo?
No. And I'll do a song right now that reminds me of my earliest experience of folk music. Was sitting in the grade school class listening to a heavy matronly woman with an auto harp singing songs with choruses that all went rin tin tin ulio oraye, and I didn't like them at all, so it's kind of ironic I'm doing one of those songs now. And this is one you may have heard in grade school or at summer camp, called Polly Wolly Doodle. Sing along on the chorus. I got a gal and her name is Sal, Polly Wolly Doodle all day. My Sal, she am a spunky gal, Polly Wolly Doodle all day. Fare thee well, fare thee well, fare thee well, my blue-eyed babe. For I'm going to Louisiana, going to see Miss Susanna, singing Polly Wolly Doodle all day. My girlfriend's nose is upside down, Polly Wolly Doodle all day. And when it rains, she almost drowned, Polly Wolly Doodle all day. Fare thee well, fare thee well, fare thee well, my blue-eyed babe. For I'm going to Louisiana, gonna see Miss Susanna, singing Polly Wolly Doodle all day. Apple sitting on a railroad track, feeling blue and cross. Round the bend, come on number 10, toot toot applesauce. Fare thee well, fare thee well, fare thee well, my blue-eyed babe. For I'm going to Louisiana, gonna see Miss Susanna, singing Polly Wolly Doodle all day. peanut sitting on a railroad track. Heart was all aflutter. Round the bend, come on, number 10. Peanut butter. Fare thee well, fare thee well, fare thee well, my blue-eyed babe. I'm going to Louisiana, gonna see Miss Louisiana, sing a Polly Wolly Doodle all day. Fare thee well, fare thee well, fare thee well, my blue-eyed babe. I'm going to Louisiana, gonna see Miss Louisiana, sing a Polly Wolly Doodle all day.
All right, that's tremendous. That even sounded jazzy.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you're not protesting, given
No, it's an authentic folk song, but it's
your
jazzy.
freak out at the Beatles song. No, I just want to mention, if you see someone playing the mandolin, you know it's a labor of love, because no parent calls their child aside and say, junior high school, and says, son, your mother and I have been thinking recently, and we really feel the mandolin is the direction you should be heading in. So it is a labor of love.
So
this instrument.
where did you pick up the mandolin from?
The case.
No. I mean, who's the first person you saw playing a mandolin?
I don't remember.
No.
It was years ago, but it's a fun instrument. You can keep it in bed if you're ill. It just sits there. You can fall asleep, pull it up. The guitar.
Did you start playing the mandolin after you won the championship?
No. I played the mandolin by then.
No kidding.
They had no connection.
What about the banjo?
I started with the guitar when I was about 14, and then mandolin a couple years later, and banjo a couple years later.
No kidding. So you just always been a multi-instrumentalist. I get the impression that you're just a guitarist by the, that you're primarily a guitarist, but you're not.
No.
So what does the show consist of when you're performing on tour?
Mm-hmm.
What do you?
Well,
what are your shows
I
like?
basically tell stories and sing songs, and like that.
Oh, that sounds like
nobody complains if I do a Beatles song. You want to hear something?
Yeah,
from the show.
Oh, that's a good idea.
All right.
Is there a song that, let's say, that really gets the crowd going?
Yeah, there's a number of songs. Here's like a funny song that the crowds have responded to a lot. This is from a friend of mine in Boston. He originally is from Seattle, Washington.
Okay.
And he is, to my mind, perhaps the greatest living exponent of new age a cappella old-timey songwriting. He's written such recent favorites as Zen gospel singing.
Oh, okay, sure.
One called Life is Hard When You're Dumb. And this next one that I'll do for you now called I Can See Your Aura and It's Ugly. I've done lots of spiritual healing. I'm in touch with all my feelings. Red palms and red stars for kings and queens. And I hate to bum you out, but you have without a doubt the ugliest aura that this poor boy's ever seen. Oh, I can see your aura and it's ugly. Your spirit must be rotten to the core. And to a new age guy like me, that means pain and misery. So dear, I cannot love you anymore. In some life you lived before, you murdered people by the score. Your evil is so total and complete. All good in you is gone. You are darkness with no dawn. Either that or you've been eating too much meat. I can see your aura and it's ugly. Your spirit must be rotten to the core. And to a new age guy like me, that means pain and misery. So dear, I cannot love you any more.
Sad, sad song.
That gets the crowd going.
Yeah, that's how come folk music's like that? I mean, a lot of music in folk is always depressing, or people crossed lovers and people getting killed.
That's heart-moving music. Like,
Oh.
that's what gets you in your gut.
That's what's great about
It's like
folk
blues music. It's like that too.
Blues is very depressing.
But it's not depressing though. That's the paradox. It makes you feel good to sing sad songs. Or speaking for myself. Anyway.
So let's hear. Well,
You know what? Something I've been thinking about that we could talk about.
What's that, Orrin?
Like, it's, this music I do, I made a couple albums. It's sort of, bluegrass and folk. It's kind of up-tempo music. And it's not mellow music, you know what I mean? It's like not music for all occasions. Like one hopes that one's artistic output would, affect people deeply and, play a pivotal role in their lives. You have visions of some middle-aged woman looking back and thinking, I'll never forget the night Ralph proposed to me. We were sitting on the front porch swing. My parents had just gone to bed, and Orrin Starr's Skunk in the Cabbage Patch was playing softly in the background. It doesn't happen like that, What happens is more like a friend of mine, I give him the album, talk to him 2 weeks later, she says, oh, by the way, liked the album a lot. Betty and I cleaned the house to it just the other day. That's the reality of this.
That's the reality of it. It's a tough business.
It's upbeat. It's upbeat. It's hot.
Folk music is hot.
It's hot.
But that's exciting. And talking about your album, let me show your album as well. This is your second album, right?
That's right.
It's a solo album. Your first album was with a duo.
Mm-hmm.
How long were you in a duo with?
I was in a duo with for 8 years.
Who were you in the duo? Who were you in the duo
Gary
with?
Mihalik.
Gary Mihalik. He's also a guitar player.
Mm-hmm. Singer, good singer.
And how did you meet Gary?
I met Gary through the Boston bluegrass scene. We were both in bands before we teamed up.
Mm-hmm. And whose idea was it to team up?
It was my idea.
Well, 8 years, that's a pretty good duo you had.
It was
there,
a long, we had a good time.
Yeah, and so the album came out, and what's Gary doing now?
He's living on the Cape in Massachusetts, and I haven't been in touch with him.
No?
It was a bitter parting, and
I'm sorry to
we
hear
just
that.
haven't been in touch. So.
Folk music will do that to you. It brings out...
It was Est that did it, actually, but we won't go into that.
Okay.
Want to hear another tune?
Take it away.
This is kind of a different thing I've been doing. This is an Argentinian song that I've been working out in my flat pick style, and it's called La Partida. Giving it the true concert atmosphere. We needed to feature some tuning.
Is this a normal tuning that you're doing the song in?
Yes.
What is a normal tuning?
Well, for guitar, it's it's E A D G B E.
That's
Idigabida is the normal, what we call it in the business.
What was that?
Hold on. Okay, this is La Partida.
Okay. That's gorgeous.
Thank you.
Now, you heard that and you made up the notes? I mean, that was your own arrangement.
Yeah, I mean, I just heard it on a record and done on a classical guitar, and I just sort of put it together my own way.
Well, that's tremendous. The show's coming to a close, and I want to thank Orrin Starr. This is the first of a two-part show, and let me mention that people interested in the book or Orrin's album could get in touch with us here at Cable Tap at the WLRN studios, and we'll be happy to get you in touch with Orrin as far as information goes. And you're actually in Miami now because you're starting your national tour. The dates will all be messed up. I'm not sure where the show's being aired, but you're going to be heading out to California soon and doing tours. The best of luck.
Thank you.
And next time you're visiting grandparents, by sure, look us up.
Okay, bye sure.
By sure. And we have time for a song for you to take us out.
All right,
And,
there's a little swing number.
A swing number?
Yeah.
Take it away.
Who's that girl with the red dress on? Some folks call her Dinah. Stole my heart away from me way down in Louisiana. Take me back to Tulsa. I'm too young to marry. Take me back to Tulsa. I'm too young to wed thee. Little bee gets the blossom. Big bee gets the honey. Poor man picks the cotton. Rich man gets the money. Shake it. Take me back to Tulsa. I'm too young to marry. Take me back to Tulsa. I'm too young to wed thee. To go to Tulsa, boy, I surely would. We'll get off on Archer, walk on down to Greenwood. Take me back to Tulsa, I'm too young to marry. Take me back to Tulsa, I'm too young to wed thee. Always wear a great big smile, never do look dour. Traveling around the country, playing by the hour. Take me back to Tulsa, I'm too young to marry. Take me back to Tulsa, I'm too young to wed thee. Ow! Like to go to Tulsa, nah, I surely would. We'll get off on Archer, walk on down to Greenwood. Take me back to Tulsa, I'm too young to marry. Take me back to Tulsa, I'm too young to wed thee.
Orrin Starr, welcome to the show, Orrin.
Thank you.
Orrin, I'll tell you what, let's just get it right on with the song here.
Good idea. I'm going down the road feeling bad. Going down the road feeling bad. I'm going down the road feeling bad. Lord, Lord, and I ain't gonna be treated this way. I'm going where the water tastes like wine. Going where the water tastes like wine. I'm going where the water tastes like wine. Lord, Lord, and I ain't gonna be treated this way. Suits my clothes. I'm going where the climate suits my clothes. I'm going where the climate suits my clothes. Lord, Lord, I ain't gonna be treated this way. Good evening, folks, and welcome to the Folk Exposure Show. I'm real glad to be here because this is really the first time in the history of the universe that I have played on TV in the Miami area. Well, second time. We taped one this morning. But in any case, I just want to mention that this first song I'm doing is unprecedented in the history of folk and bluegrass music because it's a song about feeling bad, and yet the narrator does not mention one romantic bummer. Can you beat that? These $2 shoes hurt my feet. Evidently not. These $2 shoes hurt my feet. These $2 shoes hurt my feet. Lord, Lord, I ain't gonna be treated this way. Let's take it upstairs. I'm going down the road feeling bad, Lord, Lord, and I ain't gonna be treated this way.
Oh, that's tremendous.
Thank you.
Is that your theme song?
I like to do that first at my concerts because it makes me feel good.
Yeah. In the folk, you're a national touring artist. In the folk world, you're mainly known as an instrumentalist, and you're trying to branch out now. Can you tell us what you're branching out to?
Yeah, I'd love to. As you said, I have been known as an instrumentalist since I won the National Flat Picking Championship in '76, and
Right.
I was in a duo for 8 years with a fellow named Gary Mahalik. The duo was called Orrin and Gary Mahalik. Funny enough.
That's clever.
And we toured all around the country in Europe and stuff, and we split up about 1.5 years ago. And February of last year, '85, I started touring solo, and I kind of worked up a whole. I sort of took a little time off from music when the duo split up, and sort of rethought what I was doing. And now, I sort of developed a solo show that I'm taking on the road, and I've gotten a little bit more into my folk roots, and I'm playing a little less bluegrass music and stuff. A little more songs that tell stories, and I'm sort of branching out as an entertainer, talking to the audience more, and telling stories.
It must be more of a challenge to meet the audience one-on-one instead with a duo.
Certainly, it's more of a challenge, but it's real satisfying to know that you can pull it off, and that whatever you do, you'll be able to do solo.
Has your writing changed since you've started going at it alone?
Actually, it's started since I've going alone. I didn't really do hardly any songwriting.
Oh,
and,
no kidding.
I've written a few instrumentals, some rags, but this past year, partly out of going solo, I did try my hand at the writing, and actually I'll do my my hit song right now. This is
hit song?
I'm from Boston, Massachusetts, and there's a lot of computer activity in the Massachusetts area. And about 1 year ago, I got a little home computer and started tinkering with it, learning all the lingo, and decided that it was time to write a song that united my recent interest in computer terminology with some longer interests in boy-girl activities and blues music. And here's the song I came up with. It's one called The Killer Bite Blues, and it sounds exactly like this. You know, I hated math in high school, thought typing was for the birds, but when the Silicon Valley exploded, it was the shattered around the world of my new disk drive, and a whole new attitude. And now the only time I'm sad's when I get them killer bite blues. I was cruising on the bulletin boards one fine afternoon. I met a hot little gal, said, "Would you boot up with me soon?" And she flashed her cursor. I flashed mine, yes I did. And the rest, they say, is data. We had a grand old time. And I put it to it straight. I said, I'll format your disc, I'll input your files, I'll plug in my modem and auto dial you in style. Cause when I'm online with you, baby, there's no way we can lose. But when there's no one at the keyboard, I get them killer bite blues. It's worse, my peripherals won't configure, there's a surge in my lines. My daisy wheels got weeds, but hey, I don't mind. Cause when I'm online with you, baby, there's no way we can lose. But when there's no one at the keyboard, I get them killer bite blues. I'll input it right now. My users group has used me, my terminal's terminal, my spreadsheet's not fitted, IBM can go to hell. Tell me, mama, who will your database manager be? You know I don't mind consulting when I'm at my VDT. Video display terminal, come on, get with it now. And I'll format your disk, I'll input your files, I'll plug in my modem and auto dial you in style. Cause when I'm online with you, baby, there's no way we can lose. But when there's no one at the keyboard, 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 I get them killer bite blues.
That's tremendous. When did you write that?
I wrote that last March.
Mm-hmm. And
Late at night.
I imagine the response to it has been tremendous. And how is it available?
I'm working on a new album right now. I hope to have it out by the summer.
Yeah.
And that is definitely going to be on it.
Talking about albums, you do have 2 albums out, and also a book I want to show. You're known primarily as a flat picker.
Mm-hmm.
That's what you won the championship in. What was the what is it flat picking all about? Can you just describe?
Well, flat picking is really the bluegrass guitar style. It's an acoustic guitar style based on sort of the linear runs of fiddle music.
Uh-huh.
And electric and jazz guitarists also use a pick, but it's not flat picking because it doesn't. It's not the acoustic, steel guitar, and it doesn't have that sort of fiddle-like rhythm and drive to it. And I'll give you an example of flat picking right now. Here's a little medley of a couple fiddle tunes. First one's called "Indian Killed the Woodcock." One of the more interestingly named of the old fiddle tunes. Keep your eye out for the video on that one. And it's followed by one called "Shenandoah Falls." And this demonstrates essentially playing the fiddle tunes on the guitar, which is at the heart of the flat pick style.